Greetings, technology enthusiasts. I am Chandrahas and I am delighted to be here with you representing CyberBrainer. Do you not believe that the technology sector is advancing at an unprecedented rate, making this an opportune moment to acquire the skills that will facilitate your progress? With CyberBrainer, we are empowering you to take control of your own future. At CyberBrainer, we do not merely impart your interests. We assert that information is power, yet it is the application of knowledge that distinguishes you. Our courses are meant to equip you with essential skills, whether you are pursuing data science, understanding artificial intelligence, or delving into cybersecurity. Let us commence the session and seize the future today. Thank you.
Today's topic, which is the second last topic for our course, and it is the integration security. Very important part. Let me bring up. This is the thing which I will share with you, integration system security. Before we go here, let me share another stuff. In Workday, right on your screen here, whatever you see, you're able to see because you have the right security for that part. Now, when you run this report, you are seeing the run option here, right? Right. That is because you have the security to run the report. Say, for example, right now in your organization, you will have some HR system or else, right? You will be accessing your profile, adding your details, dependents, and all those stuff, right? You have only the security to view your record. You cannot see anyone else, right? Things like this is driven by security. Now in that part, this is how Workday security works. Now, this is a very important concept. I will keep it very simple in layman language that you guys understand. And it's very important also. In Workday, we have different functional areas, right? Functional areas in the sense you have HR, benefits, payroll, you have accounts payables, you have customers, suppliers, and all those stuff, right? Everything is a functional area. Now, in each functional area, you have two parts. You have either domains or you have business processes. Right? Business processes, as I said, like in how you ever hire is a business process. Termination is a business process. In finance, create supplier, invoice, create supplier, create customer. Change compensation, right? Request absence and all those stuff. Everything is a business process. Now each business process will have different steps, right? Like approval. Like for example, you have applied for a leave. It goes for approval to your manager, right? Now that also is a business process in Workday, right? As we have seen, integration business process. Similarly, all these are general business process. Each will have its own functionality. It will have its own steps. Say step is initiate. B is approval. C is D is something like that. Right. It happens like that. Initiative. Say for example, it is hire. The HR has done and hire. Right. After that, as soon as hire is done, the next step will be approval by the manager. Once the manager approves, say next step is the review by senior manager. Senior manager will just review and all that. And then next step is assign. Pay group and compensation. That will go to the HR admin, something like that, right? Which step who will do is driven by the business process. Policy, right? You have business process. And then what define the business processes? Business process security policies, which says who can initiate this process, who can view, who can approve, who can cancel, right? This is all policy. You have your profiler user, and then based on his security profile, he will be able to do some actions, initiate view and all that. Similarly, in a functional area, you have different domains, right? And each domain includes, right, report and task and web services and all those. Each report, each task, for example, hire or say anything like changing any configuration value or doing any stuff is a task. Create integration system is a task, right? Create custom report is a task. Each of that task, they are part of a domain. Till now, what I want you to understand is, in world, there we have different functional areas. Each functional area has different domains and different business process types. Domains include report tasks and web service and business process. They include action, steps, approvals and all those. Clear till this part. Now comes the security policies. For domains, we have domain security policies. It has view modify, get input. Right. Now they are both tied together. For example, there is a task. Say, let's take the task as create integration system. Now, if you have view access of that means you can only view integration system. You cannot create it. But if you have modify access, then you can create, edit and view all. Right? If you have modify, then by default you have view. Now get input is relevant to integration. Whenever you do an integration, the integration will do it via the backend, right? Via web server. In that case, it is either get or put. If you have the get access, then integration can only get the data, the read data from Workday. But if you have put access, then integration can load the data as well. Right? We as part of our integrations, we will see whether it is an outbound integration. If yes, then it needs the get related access. If it's an inbound integration which loads data, then we need to make sure we have the put security policies. And when it is about the user, then view and modify. Similarly, when it comes to business processes, we have the security policies as who can initiate, who can view, who can approve, who can cancel. Now, these are these two blocks. And it will be clear once we do the other two blocks. Right. Then comes the system users. This system users are nothing but the actual employees or the user accounts that you create. Right. For example, say you will have your employee profile there. You are a user. Right. And then we have different security groups. Like for example, HR administrator, benefit administrator, banking administrator, or say manager is a security group. Different part. Right? A user is a member of a security group, and a security group has different security policies, and security policies are part of different functional areas. This is how it is related. Let me clean this up. Clean the mess. Now if you see, we will go from here to here. First you have an user. Say consider it as your own profile. You are an employee, right? You have an employee profile. You will have a security group associated to your profile, right? By default, employee as self is the security group, right? When you have employee as self, that means you can view, modify your own record. And when it comes to the functional area, you will have your all core HR related stuff. You can view your payslip. You can see your compensation and all that stuff, all those tasks and reports. That is the part of that security policy. Here employee self is a security group name, right, which is by default added. Whenever you create a user, it automatically gets this employee as self. Basic security for all them first. Correct. It's a basic security. But if you want this user to do something extra, like for example, if this has to be an HR administrator, then you add security administrator to his profile. Or you assign this user the HR administrator security groups. Now let's see all this in the tenant that it will be. Now let's see view security group is the task to see the security group. Now let me say integration. And then you add security group. Now when you see this integration system administrator is a security group. If you see its member right, these all are the members which have been assigned this security group. These are the users which has been assigned this security group integration administrator. Now we have seen system users and security group, right? These are the system users. And they are all associated with this security group. This link is done. Now let's see what are the security policies, right? If you see here, you have domain security policies and you have business process security policy. These both are there. You have get only for manage organization integration. You have view only for integration reports. You have view and modify for integration subscription. You have. These are all the policies to which you have either a get put view modify kind of access. And if you see here the last section, the last column is the functional area, which is this part. For a functional area, you have different security policy, and that security policy, you know what kind of operation or what kind of access you have on that. This is how everything is tied together. Now from an integration point of view, right? This is the let me. For integrations, we have a specific user created, which is called an ICU integration system user. And we have a special security group created, which is called ISG, which is integration system security group. And then we have different functional areas. We assign integration is one which is mandatory. And then you see the as part of what integration we are doing is add that functional area. These are the delivered ones. This is what we will have to do. But these domains are all delivered. This thing is delivered. These are the security policies which are there which are related to integration. Integration, configure integration process, debug event reports, EIB now. We cannot create any custom domains and it's like whatever we have. He has already given it. Right now. Let's see now. I'll tell you the steps. Whenever create an integration, right? You got a requirement for an integration. You have created an EIB connector or whatever kind of integration. It is mandatory to configure a security. Right. Your build is not completed until you do this security part, right? It is not that your integration will not run without this. It will still run. But the best practice is to have this right. What we do is, you guys just have to remember the steps that I will. All right here. And that's what you have to follow. I will have the document which has all these steps. The first is create integration system user, right? Which is called an ICU. What an ICU is, you are creating a system account, a system user, right? And this user will be owner of the integration that you have created, right? what we will do is we will give this system user all the access which is needed only for that integration. Very simple example. Suppose you have created a core connected worker, core connector worker integration. Now what that integration does, it fetches the worker related data. It only gets the data right. It is not modifying any data. You have to create an integration system user and give the right security for fetching only that data. You will not give anything extra. First step is this. Second, create integration system security group, which is called ISS. Third, associate or assign. The ISS created. You can do vice versa. As I'm a nice security group. You can add, or also you can assign security group. That's the stuff. Now fourth step is add the right security domains and policies to the ISS. And fifth one is activate pending security policy changes. And sixth one is ISU integration. These are the 6 steps and we will see it. Very simple, right? First one, suppose I have our integration, which is this is something will be there. This need to be created for each new integration which we are going to build. Each integration, you have to do the same steps. Now say for example, we are doing this part. Suppose we have created this MasterCard integration, which is importing the credit card transactions into Workday. Right. First step, create integration. This is the task. You go ahead, give the name. Normally, the standard is, it should start with ISU underscore. And then you give whatever, ISU underscore test. Now you have to give a password. Whatever you want to give, you give it. Right, let me give anything. Right. And then that's it. Username and password. That's it. One thing you also do not allow show I. That means that this user, since it is only a system user, right, no one should use this user to log in. That's why if you check this one, then you will not be able to use this, right? Right. You get a Workday home screen to log. If you put this user ID password, you will be able to log in. But if you want to stop that, because it's a system user, right, you select this part and it is recommended to select this that do not allow UI. Okay. And that's it by default. These are the default security groups which get assigned to it. We are done with step 1. This is done. Let's see the second. Create integration security group. Keep it a duplicate. And the task for that, simply create integrate. Security group is the task. Create security group and the type will be integration security group. Unconstrained, unconstrained, constrained. There is also another one which is constraint. If you select, you will have to specify a supervisory org, meaning applicable to that particular organization. It is never like that. Integration are there for the whole internet, right? That's it is always unconstrained. There is no condition. And then the name, integration system secure group starts with underscore. You have two options. You have created it. Click on and you're done. Secure group and then search for your name. Is also done. There is third option, which is to. You have both. Click on relate security prof and here integration system security group. You can and you can click on it will get a site right the other way. You have right you click on and here you have integration either is you have security assigned. Right. Now come which is secure group means right. We need security group maintain domain permissions secure will open up a page like this, right? They are saying is give the put access, give the get access, view access, modify access, whatever you want to give, you can. You have to provide. First of all, since it's an integration user, first step, go to modify. Right here, integration. You will get integration related stuff. Select all this, integration, configure, process, security. This one, similarly, the put access as integration to Wolf. If you want to see what it does is, you can just click on the interaction. This domain provide access to configuring, running the integration, third-party system as Salesforce, Chatter, right? We don't need both feed assets. If your integration is enabled and it uses a custom report, click here, custom report. That's right, custom report that you can give that access. Custom report administrator, custom report creation, manage all custom reports that you can give that access. Similar. Some report administrator, creation manager, you're all sorted for integration and this your user has all the right access. The integration comes the main of the functionality. If you see that part, right, we have two things. One is integration, because this is an integration user, right? It should have integration related access and the data related access which it deals with. We are creating the for MasterCard. What is MasterCard? It's about credit card transactions, right? We have to update it. It's not about view. We have to do modify. Just write credit card, whatever. Manage credit card, process credit card, worker data, and credit card related stuff. We have given similarly input credit card. For example, if this integration would have been for core connector worker, then you come here and check worker, right? And you will not give the put access because you are getting the data, right? It's only about reading the data. You will go to view and get in view. You will write worker and enter, and you will choose all the relevant thing which you want. If you have absence related fields in the integration, you will select that benefit related or whatever. You will choose the right one and then click on. We have to select all the fields, all the domain which are relevant. You can go to a related action and see, for example, in your core connector, you are using compensation related, right? Salary related data and all that. Each one will have its own domain. And you need to make sure that domain is added here. How to know that? Like for each domain, what are the group to be added? We will see that. But let's finish this part. You got to know how to add this one based on if it's inbound, then if it's outbound, then view and more, view and get. If it's inbound, then put and modify, and then done. Right. This one is done. Now come active pending security policy changes. Invert whenever you do any update, modification on the domain and policy, if you're adding it somewhere, and all that, you need to activate the task. And it's a very important question as well. They say whenever you do some policy changes or security related changes, what is the task that you go to? Activate pending security policy changes and you give your comment. Again, is the underscore test, whatever, comment, click on. And then it will become active. It will show what all you have done. It will ask you to confirm, right? We have done these many changes. Click on. And now, if I go back to the security group, now you will see everything. View security group. Underscore. Now you see, we have this integration system user, this. This is the security group and it has all of these security domain, worker day, credit card, we modify and all that stuff. And also what functional area will automatically come as part of that. We have the right stuff, This is also done. Now comes the last part, to integration. For that, what we have to do is go to your integration, related action, Workday account, and here you have to choose the, and then for example, this is the integration. Now it has this ISO attach, right? Workday account attach. You cannot use this account for any other integration. One will be there for one integration is create integration. Are you guys clear with these? Create a user, then create a security group, assign them together, add the right domain and policy based on your, then activate, and then assign the ISO to the integration, and don't worry if you will forget about that. This is the guide for this, which is specifically for the security. Right, all this integration related that we gave. It has the description of that. Then the task, create integration system user, then create integration system security group. With screenshot, it will have that. Providing permission to the security group. You can do that part. Update, delete. Activate the pending security policy changes task. Associating the integration system user to the integration. Right, as I said, access your integration system, select Workday account, and you will do that. Right, all the 6 steps are part of this, and this is what you have to do for every integration. Step 1, I will share it with you. And then comes your question with us about how do we check. Say for example, let me go to our report. Let's go to the support test. Say for example, this is the report, right? Say for example, we have this cost center field, right? You go to the related action here of any field, and there is security, and you click on view security, right? It will tell which functional area and what security group are able to do it. And it says all users. That means everyone will be able to view this part, right? Some fields are open. Some fields have very specific requirement, right? Say worker status. Let's check that. Security. View security. Here you have. If you want to have access to this field, which is worker status, which is active on leave, and all that stuff, you need to be part of these security groups. You need to have this security policy. When you will create your, you will add these security policies, right? This one. You copy this, paste it there. All this worker data, current staffing information, worker data active, termination, and you will get it here. The way to do it is, go to that particular field and then related action and view security. To see any other, let's see, Harried it. I think it will be available to all. It one has. If you want to have the access for Harried it in your, make sure all these security policies are added. It's simple. It's not that big thing. Only thing you need to make sure is what your integration is doing related to that. Whatever security policies are there, you need to add it. This was the security part of integrations. And that is what you have to do from an interview also point of view. An important topic where they ask as part of integration security, what do you do? What are the steps? Activate pending security policy changes, this task. You should remember this name. All of that is. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel.